really interested in this EEG research. With the EEG, are you able to map that perception on the EEG when you do correctly identify that it's tinnitus, and whether it's
Mhm.
tonal or atonal, or whatever the situation is there mapping that correlates to that perception?
Right. So there's been a lot of work that has been able to find or identify neural networks in the cortex that correspond to tinnitus loudness and tinnitus distress, and those are different.
Hmm.
So we do see that in the literature. As far as I know, I don't think it's possible to, like, let's say, identify an oscillation in the brain that represents the tinnitus tone
Hmm.
and be able to map that. I don't think we've been able to do that. There's plenty of work looking at frequency based EEG analysis, looking at these oscillations, alpha, delta, all that. And we do find different oscillations reflecting or correlating with tinnitus aspects or characteristics. But I don't think we could say that's the tinnitus.
Yeah.
That's the perception of the tone in the brain. I don't think we could do that. No.
With
Um,
the research related to inhibition and excitation, and
mhm,
you were saying earlier about it possibly being, something with the
mhm,
gating, or the inhibition is not functioning because the
mhm.
excitation is not functioning, but then you've got excitation on different neurons that are not being inhibited. Does the EEG show the excitation and the inhibition differently, and are you able to sort of see
Mhm,
the data there and kind of
mhm.
see what's going on?
So in the classical gating paradigm, we're not able to look at both excitation and inhibition. We're only looking at that amplitude difference to
Mm.
those tones, and then we can quantify that amplitude difference and then say, okay, if you have a reduction in amplitude of about half, a ratio value, then you're gating. But
Mm.
if it's higher than that, probably not if it's 1 to 1. But if we look at the frequency based EEG, we can look at oscillations that are reflective of inhibition and oscillations that are reflective of excitation simultaneously. And we do see those fluctuate complementary in a complementary fashion. So, gamma, which people associate more with excitation, excitatory processing signals, will tend to increase when these lower level oscillations decrease. Then
Mm.
they're thought to be reflective of inhibition. So that's going to be your theta range of oscillations. So we can look at those simultaneously in things like resting EEG. So just having a person sit quietly with no stimulus at all, and we just record their brain activity at rest. And so we can look at just those oscillations, and are they related to any aspects of the tinnitus percept at all? And there's a lot of work in that.